Imagine you have a debilitating, potentially fatal disease, and now imagine there's a treatment, but you're not allowed to use it. And that is the case for dozens of people around Australia who suffer from a rare blood disease called AHUS. 70% of these people die. They require dialysis or suffer permanent kidney damage within the first year. And there is a drug available that simply switches the disease off. Now, the problem is it costs more than $400,000 a year, and that's a price deemed too high by Australian authorities. Another day, another treatment for Queensland Police Officer Tracy Warren.
Made it.
Here in Brisbane's Mater Hospital, she's having 60% of her plasma replaced in the hope that it will keep her rare blood disease at bay and keep Tracy alive.
I've had well and truly over 100 treatments now. It's a job, really. Treatment is a job, so it takes precedent over everything else that you do. You have to plan life around treatment. Well, you don't really plan life at all. You just plan treatment.
2 years ago, life was looking good for newlyweds Tracy and Carl Warren. Recently settled in Roma, central Queensland, Tracy loved her job as a local cop. And Carl, a cattle auctioneer, was at the top of his game.
That's right.
We were married in January last year, and then we became pregnant as well, which was really exciting. And it's just, you just think, oh wow, this is a whole new chapter in your life, and things are great and moving forward. And then suddenly, from where you're standing in life, it's like somebody just pulls the rug straight out from under you.
Tracy is one of just a few dozen people in Australia to be diagnosed with the rare blood disease atypical hemolytic uremic syndrome, or AHUS. It's a disease that waxes and wanes. Right now, Tracy's disease is in its dormant phase, but when it flares, like it has 3 times already, it causes Tracy's red blood cells to shatter, damaging her kidneys and other organs. The flares have been terrifying for Tracy and Carl, each time not knowing if she'll pull through.
I thought Tracy was dying. I thought she could be gone at any minute, and preparing for the worst.
The last flare occurred on plasma exchange. That, to me, is the biggest worry as the clinician looking after her. And so it concerns me that she could have another deterioration on plasma exchange and not get better, I suppose.
While Tracy's haematologist, Dr. James Morton, hopes that this time her weekly plasma treatment can keep the disease at bay, he knows there is a drug that would almost certainly stop AHUS in its tracks.
So in patients with this condition, if you give them eculizumab, it turns the process off from the minute it's given. And so in acute episodes, it's very good at stopping the damage that occurs to the kidney. And then if you continue it in a maintenance phase, you can prevent further attacks from occurring.
It sounds like the perfect solution, except for the price. At more than $400,000 a year, Australian authorities won't pay for it. So for now, Tracy and Carl worry about the future and AHUS striking again.
I'm very lucky at the moment to have gone through it 3 times, come out to be here still, but I know that next time it happens, and I know it will happen again. It's just that fear of not being here, and just everything's just unfinished in life.
It's Australia, we're the lucky country. It's available in the US and the UK, so it makes you feel unlucky. You know, if we're anywhere else, Tracy would be fine.
And without the drug, Tracy and Carl have been told they can't try for children. Doctors think her last 2 bouts of AHUS were triggered by pregnancy, and she just can't take that risk.
We have lost 2 pregnancies, and we're not sure whether or not to attribute those to the disease or not. But
There's our favourite restaurant.
with my current therapy now, and it's not something that they would recommend in the near future. As much as I would love to have just one would be, I'd be happy with one. And it's very hard to watch your friends and family and when they're all having babies, and just life is so normal for them.
Playing in his Melbourne backyard with his siblings, Ashley Gray looks like any other 5-year-old. But he was lucky to survive his battle with AHUS after being diagnosed at just 18 months of age. Doctors tried everything to save Ashley, but despite plasma infusions nearly every day, the disease kept flaring and flaring. They had run out of options, and in desperation, Ashley's doctors applied to Alexion, the company that makes Eculizumab, to give him the drug on compassionate grounds.
So after we'd been on the plasma exchange for about 3 months and he was just still so sick, they agreed to allowing him to use it without us having to pay for it.
Ashley's parents, Kerry and Jason, knew he had been given a lifeline.
Done. Take your shirt back on.
Now, more than 3 years after his first treatment, Ashley has to visit the Melbourne Children's Hospital just once a fortnight for his infusion of Eculizumab.
Go eyes in. Kick, 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 kick. Good boy. Go again, kickers.
It's just been incredible. You know, he's able to start swimming, he's able to, you know, go to kinder, he's able to start school next year, and he's able to play with his brothers and sisters and just be a normal kid.
Kerry and Jason are painfully aware of just how lucky they are. Just a handful of patients in Australia receive Eculizumab under Alexion's compassionate program, a program which has now ceased for new patients, leaving dozens of sufferers like Tracy with a life of uncertainty.
To know that there's something there that can switch off this whole process indefinitely, and also could possibly enable an opportunity to have children in the future as well, it's quite amazing. But then you're told it's not affordable. You can't have it, and like, can you put a price on somebody's life?
That's the question, isn't it? And yeah, unfortunately, a price is put on people's lives.
It's an appalling situation, isn't it? Like you said, not only to have an illness, but to have the cure right there and not be able to take it.
I know that the drug companies, they have to get their research and development money back. They risk billions trying to find these new drugs, but there's got to be a way that the government can make it an easier burden for people to have
Yeah, well,
that.
if other countries can do it, I don't see why we can't.